hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz. Welcome back to channel. Today's a review of a tank that I've been putting off for a very, very long while, and which a lot of you have been quite interested in, because it is the real difference. I mean, the tank looks crazy, right? The Vk72.01, which we're going to be doing here. And I hate the tank. I'm going to get that right out of the way now, and I'm going to give you some really good reasons as to why I hate the tank. Suffice to say, I feel that it's a very, very valid call on my part to say this is the worst tier 10 tank I've ever driven. And if you've got to have a worst at tier 10, I mean, you've got to have some good reasons for it. I'm going to show you exactly why in just a second. But I know there'll be a lot of people out there who are disappointed by that, who like the tank and say, I do really well in it. And I understand that because, look, if you have a tank that is a gun and you play it smart and you play it by the rules, you can put out damage. I mean, if it has a 640 alpha gun, you can put out damage just because you're not a muppet and you know how to position yourself. You wait for them to fire around, you move back into a good position, and then you press the button, and that's not the tank doing much. You can do that in a T95, you can do it in just about anything, you can do it with varying degrees of success, and that's more about the quality of the player and positional play than anything else. But this is a heavy tank, a super heavy tank in fact, that quite simply cannot even imitate a super heavy. It has absolutely nothing in terms of a super heavy armor profile. I want you to watch this little clip here. This is an IS-4. I want you to look at that's not an IS-4, but the one that's coming up is. I want you to look at the angle of the IS-4, how far over angled he is to me with my absolutely horrible dispersion, crappy low rate of fire, lowest DPM in the entire tier gun, this 150mm German thing. Look how over angled he is. He does nothing, right? Watch how good my angle is here. And it doesn't matter. Like, he's over angled all to hell, and I'm angled up at like 10 degrees, which is tiny. It's such a passive angle. And I'm dead in line with the target that I'm angling toward, and there should be absolutely no way he gets through my side armor. And he just smashes me. Absolutely smashes me. And I'll show you why. There's a huge, big turret edge on either side of this tank, and the side armor actually juts out in line with the turret. And even with AP, that's with the IS-4's armor. AP rounds. Huge green bits. Look at E100s, Mouses, everything. They have so much more side armor than you do. IS-7s, IS-4s. These are tanks that can actually side scrape. This thing, absolutely not. Look how easily. And again, this is me intentionally putting the tank in situations where a normal heavy tank would go. And that's it, face on, hull down. Like, look at that's straight on. A super heavy tier 10 tank with AP from a freaking IS-4. Like, forget about it. Watch how straight through the turret. Again, straight through the turret. This is hull down, man. Like, congratulations, we bounced a freaking tier 10 medium for once. I mean, that's not a bounce. That's that same area from the Leopard 1 with heat right into the side of my tank. That's the turret from an IS-4 right through at range. Like, it's crap. The armor is so bad. You cannot side scrape it. You cannot hull down it, because unless people forget to use Pramo rounds, and hat tip, tier 10, people don't mind using Pramo to go through an armor profile. Like, if Pramo didn't exist, the IS-7 would be the greatest tank in the world. You are going to suck nuts, and you can't angle to anything. You absolutely can't open field angle to anything. This isn't an E75. It's not a 4502B. It's not a Mouse. Once you are flanked by any kind of tank, you are dead in the water. Like, absolutely screwed. There is nothing you can do about it. If you're going to be a tank that can't go front line because your armor profile is so weak, or you can't go hull down because your armor profile is so weak, and you are probably going to be forced to be like a backline sniper in a tank like this, why not just drive a Foch 155 or a 268 or an E4 or an E3 or a Jaegeru and actually angle even a grill? You can at least be sneaky. I mean, watch this shot go in. I mean, this again. I'm going to show you two shots here. One is from this IS-7, where he just basically, I mean, I'm trying to keep my angle. I know that angle is not enough, so I'm actually trying to hide the tank behind that wall completely. There's no other way around it. I can't angle to him, he will pen me everywhere. Watch this. I'm going to slow this down. This is so frustrating. This is what I'm talking about. Look at the angle. Again, I've hidden everything behind the wall apart from my massive big turret with gun mantlet, which is pointing directly at that Leopard 1. And he just puts a heat round straight through the side of my turret while it's pointed at him. Why would you bother driving it? Get a T110E4. Hell, get an IS4. Get an E100. You've got the lowest DPM of any tier 10 tank. The lowest DPM of any tier 10 tank. You've got bad dispersion. You've got bad aim time. You've got bad mobility. And you've got bad armor. Stop me when you find something that's really worth having on this tank. And I mean, we haven't even talked about the fact that you can go through the drive wheels pretty easily and things like that. Like, it's... You can see in the design, it's just a flawed design. The turret ring mirrors the turret above it, and that's a big circle. So you have a square tank that has a straight line back ending in a circle. A circle that is not well armored is not a very good piece of armor. Like, it's pretty self-evident to me that you could do a lot better than this tank. And I would suggest you don't grind this tank. Like, the difference between this tank and the Vk72, who is at tier 8, is just absolutely ridiculous. It's such an overpowered tank, the 101p, and this tank is such an underpowered tank for mine. And I had, like, this is a 3000 damage game, and you'll note how often I put my armor profile to the test. Like, I just don't really do it. I make sure there's always a physical object between me and the bad guy. And if that's the way you have to play in a tank that has this kind of mobility and everything else, then you can do it better in a tank like that 268 or something else that actually has the same deal, the same kind of firepower, but actual mobility or armor or stealth or camo or gun depression. Just has some redeeming feature. Anyone can take a gun and move it around the battlefield without taking risk and just farm damage. That's so doable. Like, you'll have games where you'll farm damage and you can wipe other tanks just because you've got more hit points than they do. And you can bleed those hit points out for damage back, and you can do numbers. But if you're talking about the merits of the vehicle, I don't see a whole lot of merit in this vehicle. I mean, I'm basically farming damage right now off that Jaeger's hit point pool, and I'm the super heavy tank. Think about that. I'm the guy who you'd be looking at if you are... The teams are loading up. I'm the guy you'd be looking at to say, hey, there's our heavy, what's he going to do? And I can't frontline this thing because anyone that's got half an ounce of brain power will just go straight through my tank as soon as I make anything but a completely passive side scrape. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy that this tank is in this state. I think it's the worst tank in tier 10, and I would not drive it again if you paid me all the Pacific bananas that you could muster. Thank you so much for watching. I mean, I was flabbergasted when I finally got around to reviewing this thing as to how much it just sucked nuts. So, look after yourselves. Oh, look at that shot. Love this gun. What a gun. What a game-breaking gun, you know, and what game-breaking mobility. I mean, thanks very much for watching. This tank's so... How often do I get that upset at a tank? Like, how about never? Just very frustrating to see a design that I think is unique and interesting not really pull it out. Look after yourselves, and as always, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.